All right, now we're live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Tell me if you can hear me now. Tell me if there are any interruptions in my life path now, still, yet, again. It's always something with me. Um, hello, Apple Cinnamon. Can you hear me now? All right. It's time for a new mic. I'm scared to touch it. Anytime I touch this mic, I bump it, it goes out to Bluetooth. I try to turn the Bluetooth off. It never comes back. I have to literally get off of here and get back on my life, what it takes to be me. It's crazy. I was just saying that I had bought this orchid for myself for Mother's Day. It was a gift to myself. And I was explaining how the guy said that I, you know when to water it, I guess, when the little roots down here, they turn like white, grayish white, which they are. So probably about 2 more days, I will water it. And then, hey Bruno, then we have the green. We have it's actually called a neon pothos. It's golden pothos, but it's neon, so bright green. So I thought it was pretty. Add some new energy down here. And of course, Patricia is doing her own thing. She's been doing her thing for a while, and she is really flourishing. I want to put her outside, but I actually bought another bird of paradise that is outside, and he's flourishing outside. So I just might just leave them separate for a while. One ice cube per week for orchid. Okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. Green is a great color on you. Thank you. Thank you. It's abundance. My Mercury, I'm dressing intentionally based off of my Mercury sign and activating that. So yeah, everything is intentional with me. So thank you about the green color. So you guys can hear me now. So let's do it the morning energy reading, and then we'll get into the other things I want to talk about. All right. So let's take a look here. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Holy Spirit, spirits, and angels. Please allow me to look for a message here for the Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. What do we have here for Aries? All right. 3 cards came out. Okay. We got Chop Wood, number 42. We got Imagine. This card hasn't come out in a while. And we got Regeneration. Regeneration. Chop Wood, Imagine, and Regeneration. Regeneration. So Chop Wood is all about the fundamentals, the basics, the building blocks. There is a card that says building blocks here. The kind of labor that you have to do before you get into whatever it is that you're creating. Oh, look at this. Another card, message in the bottle. I'm going to put that out there too. Uh-oh. Was it the mic? Oh, that's the voice thing. Okay. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Imagine is all about your imagination, right? What you can create through your imaginative power. Regeneration here is like being burnt and rebuilt from the ashes, the phoenix. All right, so let's take a look here. This is for Aries. Let's see. So being grounded in everyday experiences and humility is Chop Wood. So being grounded, and there are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life, right? The things that you have to do day to day. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, look at that, talking about trees, and then leaving it to be, let nature take its course. It's an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy or to receive your aha moment, which brings you ever closer to what you seek. That is so true. That is so true. Because I've learned that through the opposite. As someone who can kind of get very anxious about things that I need to do, and then when I get anxious, I get stuck. I get like, I freeze. Like, I just don't do anything because I am so anxious. Like, that's what my anxiety can be crippling sometimes. But then when I tell myself, okay, go do this, or like a chore, like today I'm putting away all my clothes. I'm donating a lot of clothes today. I have too many clothes I have to get rid of. And usually when I do things like that, tasks that I've been putting off for a long time, in order to take my mind off of said thing that I'm manifesting or creating, ideas start to flow through. Ideas, it's the same thing kind of with working out. Working out takes your mind off of your day-to-day stuff. It's supposed to be meditative. It is meditative. And then that's where ideas start to come through. All right. So this is beautiful. Okay. So let's take a look at Imagine, number 20. What are you guys saying? Number 20. It says here, turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imaginary imagery and feelings, creative illusions. Who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine, and if you dream it, you can create it. This is a time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board, to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if it was magic. Aha. And I can understand where the regeneration comes through with this. Taking your mind off of the thing that you are trying to manifest, but also, taking some time putting to the side to create through imaginary acts. Okay. Whether those be vision boards, whether those be visualizations, whether those be meditations, those two things are going to change your life. Also, even though message in the bottle was in the bottom of the box, it still comes out. This was the message the other day of looking, not really looking, but receiving the signs that come to you, okay, in everyday life or through an oracle. And regeneration here is like somebody's life changing, completely changing, being born from the ashes, from the rubble, from the tough times, from the difficulties that you may be experiencing, creating a brand new life. As I split the deck, I see the Magician and the Four of Wands. So let's take a look here. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. What's the message here for the Aries collective? What's the message here for Aries? All right, there it is. Eight of Swords. I was just talking about this. This is that anxiety and anxiousness, self-sabotage, crippling energy that we all tend to go through sometimes. And I told you, I explained it for myself. For me, it makes me stuck. And I have to pull myself out of that. Usually grounding myself, I will literally just go in my backyard and touch grass. Like sometimes I just have to do that when I get too up into that type of anxious energy. And it's being clarified by the Four of Wands. I'm seeing the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We have the Hermit, which could be an oracle as well. We have the Knight of Pentacles on top of the Queen of Wands, which is on top of the Lovers. I didn't even see that there. Okay. The Lovers. Chariot at the bottom of the deck. I want to pull one more. The King of Cups. Okay. Being emotionally grounded. Okay. Being emotionally grounded to the point where you're able to interpret your own emotions, feelings. I was going to say intuition. Okay. Magician at the bottom of the deck, the Star and the Empress. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the biggest message here, Aries, is about grounding yourself. When I'm seeing the Eight of Swords and the Four of Wands, this could be somebody here being very anxious, very stressed out, very worried about something that potentially could make you very happy, create stability, joy. It could be a celebratory moment, but somebody has a lot of angst about something. The thing about that is that even though it's a brilliant idea, even though this is something that you've been dreaming of doing, having, wanting, and being, the anxiety can potentially cancel it out. It could delay it, right? Because when you get too much into that anxious feeling, like I just said, it cripples you. It can stop you from something that you got a yes on before and turning it into a, well, a maybe, or it will come eventually. Sometimes we block our own, manifestations. This is why this is called the self-sabotage card, because this is your own thoughts blocking you from your happiness, from your goal, from your desire, from the thing that you really want to experience. The Hermit card talks about removing yourself. I don't want to just say isolation, removing yourself from a situation, person, place, or thing, and going within. The Hermit is at the top of a snow-capped mountain, which is to represent his isolation from the world and the outside world and the distractions. So he is going within, right? His inner oracle, source energy for his guidance, which is this little light here. Okay. I want to say it's the Star of David, but this is what is guiding him for it, his inner voice, source energy. And with the King of Cups here, this is connected to those feelings, emotions, and intuition, what you strongly desire, what you strongly want, what you feel deeply. Now, the Knight of Cups talks about trusting the process. The Knight of Pentacles, I said Knight of Cups. Knight of Pentacles could be about trusting the process. The Knight of Pentacles is a very meticulous, detail-oriented type of energy. This is like, I am, crossing my T's, dotting my I's. I am paying attention to everything along the way so I don't make any mistakes. He's just very careful. We always talk about the Knight of Pentacles as being slow. He's just very careful when it comes to his work and what he's doing. And so he takes care with whatever he's doing. This is why I would say slow and steady wins the race with the Knight of Pentacles. He will, in fact, reach his goal. He is very reliable. He is very dependable. And he is very, I say that, detail oriented. This is coming out with the Queen of Wands energy. I feel like this is more so Aries, even though I would say the Queen of Wands is a manifester in herself. This is about kind of like getting to know. This message here is about getting to know the way that you manifest, like getting to know yourself, knowing your goals, but in relation to yourself. What is it that you're desiring? And I always give the advice of, if there's something that you're wanting to do, find a mentor, the Hermit energy. Find somebody who has traveled the path that you have traveled, find somebody who has traveled the path that you want to embark on, that journey. But it doesn't mean that you need to follow every single thing that they do exactly how they do it. You kind of follow them to get inspiration, right? Now, there could be some things that work for them, and then, maybe you need to implement. But a lot of times when you watch and you see somebody else do it, it usually can jog some sort of intuitive insight of, maybe I should do it like this. Or, maybe it would be better if I did it like this and tried it this way. Not saying that they're wrong, but our minds all work differently. We all have different talents and abilities that could be sharper than someone else's. You may be intuitive reader, and maybe you divine in a different way. Maybe you hear things. I'm more sensitive, so I feel things. The Queen of Wands is all about getting the job done, creating, but doing it through her own means, how she can get it done, how she wants to do it, putting her own stamp on it. And this leads to some sort of spiritual alignment here with the Lovers energy. Now, the Lovers we always say the Lovers is a relationship, a soulmate connection. Obviously, it could be all of those things. So can the Four of Wands. It could be happiness in a relationship. But the way I see this is the Lovers here is getting exactly what you want. Also having some sort of divine intervention or help from the other side. But the Lovers could also be your purpose, your soul purpose, the thing that your goal. You can see the Queen of Wands is looking at that. Like, I want this. This is where I'm headed. This is what I want to obtain. So is the Knight of Pentacles. So with the Magician here being at the bottom of the deck, this is all about your creative force, your creative power, what it is that you are trying to manifest. And this spread and how to get there. First step, whatever, if you're anxious or worried about something or stressing about something, find a moment to let it go, put it to the side, do things that don't require much thought so you can get into like a meditative thought. And maybe, just maybe, that bright idea or that plan will come through for you. Okay. All right. So I can breathe. I also wanted to know, how was your guys's, it's 12:04 a.m., but I'm saving this movie so I can listen on the way to work. Thank you for this reading. You're so welcome. How was your guys's yesterday? Still feeling the energy, the full moon in Scorpio. I got emotional. I had to shut down for a little while. Y'all got your questions. I answered all the text questions. I answered them late. I had to peel myself up off the couch. But I mean, I got like PMS emotional. and I know it wasn't that time. And I'm just attributed to the full moon and then especially coming right after Mother's Day. It was a doozy for me. What did you guys experience? Did you guys feel any like deep, and I guess it could be different for all of us because of our placements. But I'm a Cancer rising, so I'm already a little bit of emotional. But the full moon in Scorpio, it triggered a lot for me. And so I just had to release it and let it go. And I wrote a letter and just kind of process my thoughts, my emotions. I talked to myself, but I got really deep in my emotions yesterday. It was, oof. I still kind of feel it. You know how you almost kind of feel kind of like tears right behind your eyes? So I just wanted to see what you guys experienced with that. Yeah. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, just like Aries. So I think it could have been very intense emotionally for a lot of us, especially with a lot of water placements and Aries energy. Yes, me too, Boss Mama J. Me too. Hello, everyone. I see you guys. So I'm about to go to the community center. But before I wanted to go emotional, I was sky gazing and cried. I felt a sense of relief that I could finally release some of the sadness I have been carrying around. Oh, yes, it was heavy. It was heavy. Sending love and light to my Aries tribe. Thank you, Harley. Send that to everyone. It was very heavy for me. I always go through the ebbs and flows around holidays with the grief, but it was almost just like the Scorpio full moon. It was like you said, it was trying to get me to release things that I guess I have had pent up inside of me. And not even just grief, but just the different feelings and emotions about myself. You know, maybe feeling like I'm missing the mark here and being very hard on myself. And like really just needing to be gentler and be kind to myself, but release those feelings of hardness, I guess you can say, where I was being hard on myself. And I had to cry it out. A death energy feeling. Oh goodness. I spent most of the day in silence yesterday. I felt heavy, but released what I needed to move forward and receive new beginnings. Beautiful. That leads me to the next thing. A lot of you have been asking me through the tarot chat hotline. And just for clarity, you can ask me anything through there. Okay. If you pay for a question, you can ask me anything. A lot of y'all are asking me about rituals. And a good time, you know, some people feel like they missed the mark to do full moon or new moon rituals. You can start your ritual 3 days before and 3 days after. And especially with this full moon being so potent and intense, you still have time to do this ritual if you didn't do one. Excuse me. If you didn't do one last night, you can do it during the day. I feel like under the full moon is very powerful. You can charge your crystals. You can get some water and charge that. Maybe put it in a container. I have a little a crystal bowl, and you can put the water inside and you can charge that with that, and you can use that water, that moon water, for any rituals after. You can use it for cleansing. You can add it to any type of spell work that you may have. You can write your affirmations, your goals, whatever. You can charge that under the full moon. Full moons are very powerful for setting intentions, and also releasing. Hey, Bruno. Rich AM. I asked my 3 daughters to rearrange my room, full mommy style, as a gift, and my Scorpio, who is mean as hell, and 18 had me emotional the way she came through. I love everyone. Oh, that's so beautiful. I wrote down my desires and burned them outside. I felt the need to lay down right after. Yeah, it's always good to meditate after that. Bruno's a Scorpio. He's mean, so I get it. He could be a so mean ass. Um, I also wanted to talk about the Horary charts that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to add that because a lot of you asked through the tarot, hey, Chelsea, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? When is this going to happen? And that is going to be a better way for me to give you a precise answer now that I've finally mastered that and know how to do that. If you have any specific questions, Horary charts can answer questions like, will I get pregnant? Will me and so get married? Where is my keys? Where is my stuff? It can definitely locate lost items. Me and my sister use that for our legal situation, which I can't talk about too much, but with my mom's estate. And so it can give you a more accurate depiction of when something is going to happen. And how this works is that a chart, a birth chart, is casted at the time of the question that the question is inquired. So if you have a question that comes to mind now, you can look at the time and say that it is 9:13 a.m. Central Time and I am in such and such location. That would be the birth chart of that said question. And this is all based off of the premise that everything is connected, because everything is connected. Oh, a little fire right there. And so you can read the energy of the planets at that moment in time that the question that you have is casted, and it can give you a breakdown of your answer. So I'm like, because I never really do timing questions through the tarot because it's energy, and energy is fluid. But I can definitely give you a better time frame if you have specific questions like that, or questions about whether or not something is going to happen. Only thing that I need from you is when this question is formulated in your mind or your head, or you have this question, or at the time of you asking, is the time that you're asking, where you are located. And to be more specific, I would like your birth chart if you have it. If other people are involved, if you have their birth chart as well, that would be even more specific. Okay. So I'm going to start that off. And I decided for the next 3 days, because it's not going to be cheap forever. If you look everywhere, those charts are very expensive to do. But for the next 3 days, I'm going to do a sale, and I'm going to do 50% off. And I'll do $33.33 because that's a divine number if you are interested in that. And I'll post it in the community page as well, so you have the information. And how you would ask the question, you guys can just hit me through the text chat line. You can email me. I don't care. Just however you want your question back, that is how you send it in. Okay. So if you don't mind doing it through the text, we can do it through the text. If you want to email, I can send it through email and do a PDF for you, however you want it. But I feel like that will give, especially the people who, I have a lot of you who ask the same question over and over again, which there's no shade there, but at least this way I can give you a specific, more detail. I'll say more detailed answered around the timing, because a lot of times you're asking, is something going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet, right? So we can give you more details around the timing there. He says, I've used Chat GPT for that before for Horry. Yeah, but Chat GPT is not, I wouldn't trust it all the time. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, because it's not always they're not always specific. They be getting birth times and signs wrong. But if you send it to me, I would definitely need your time of birth again. I would need where you're born, just as if any chart I'm doing as well. And then where you are at the moment that you are asking the question. Okay. Where you are at the moment that you're asking the question. Okay. That is a different location than a lot of you are born in. So just know that. Okay. And I will send you all of that information if you are inquiring about the Horary chart. Okay. And so you can just say, hey, Chelsea, can you give me information on that? And I'll give you the rundown, the price, how to pay, and everything like that, which is $33, $33.33. All right. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm only going to have it at that price for the next 3 days. Okay. So I will make another announcement on the reading for today. But yeah. All right, I'm running late for the community center. I will talk to you guys later. What are we doing today? What are we doing? What reading are we doing today? I think it might be time for a financial reading. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comment section if you want any specific reading done. If you want any specific reading done for the channel, okay? All right. I'm doing a pick a card on the other reading, on the other channel today. All right. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.